Alright, so in this video I'm talking about unit circle. It's a very important thing in pre-cal that we get to here at the end of our unit, at the end of our class, with unit 8 being a lot of lower level pre-cal stuff. Hopefully you know that 30 is 1/6 of 180 and 45 is 1/4. These are very helpful with the radians level. It's on your little paper. The square root of 1, I'm not sure if I put this on there. It could be 1 or -1. That somewhat shows up. Anytime we're talking about sine, I'm looking for the y coordinate. I didn't put this on your paper either. Anytime we're talking about cosine, we're looking for the x coordinate. I'm going to focus in this video mostly about filling it in rather than what the questions will be. So to be good at unit circle, you need to understand 3 levels, with the first 2 levels being super easy. The first level is degrees, and when I give you a quiz on this, you'll get 33 points for being able to do the degrees. You'll start here every single time, and this first spot will be 0 degrees. And understand, this is a big angle there's big angles and there's little angles. The big ones are 30 degrees, which puts me at 30. But my next one is a little one, which is going to be a 15-degree angle. That puts me at 45. Another 15, because it's another little angle, puts me at 60. And then finally, another big angle. Remember, big angles are 30. Puts me at 90. That should make perfect sense, because I'm a quarter of the way through the circle, and that makes a 90-degree angle from the start. At this point, if you understand little angles are 15 and big angles are 30, you should be able to work your way all the way to the finish and work ahead of me. You know, when you get halfway around the circle, you better be at 180. You know, when you get to the end of the circle, you better be at 360. So there's little ways to catch yourself if you miss add at some point. And that would, once you get to the end, that will complete the first level and get you hopefully an easy 33 points off of just being able to fill out the degrees, with the next step being radians. What's after 90? Thank you, 120, because that was a 30-degree angle. After 120? Yep, 150, 180. Forgive me if I don't put my degree sign sometimes. I'm halfway around the circle. I better be at 180. Another 30-degree angle puts me at 210. 15 more is 225. Another 15 is 240. I wrote 250 here last period, and I know that 390-degree angles is supposed to put me at 270. I was about to, if my last one would have been wrong at 250, 30 more would have put me at 280, so I knew something was wrong. Another 30 puts me at 300. Another 15 is 315, 330, and finally we end the whole circle at 360. Degrees level, rarely does anybody mess up the degrees level. So radians would be another 33 points for, as so far, a total of 66 points. And radians works off of the statements from your warm-up today. Every 30 degrees is blank of 180. Every 30 is how much? Thank you. 30 is 1/6. So every 30-degree angle, every angle that's divisible by 30 is another 1/6. So I start with 1/6 pi. I jump one and go to 2/6 pi. And then 3/6 pi. Let me explain some things right quick. Do you understand why I jumped 45? Is 45 a multiple of 30? Nope. So I skipped 45. And another thing, notice I'm not reducing. I went from 1/6 to 2/6 to 3/6. On the first day, I don't like to reduce because it's easier for kids to tell where these things are coming from if it's just all 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, etc. When I start doing this the next day, like Monday, I'll reduce it every time. So next is 4/6. Does 5/6 go right here? And the answer is no, because 135 is not a multiple of what? Thank you. It's not a multiple of 30. I'm supposed to jump all the 45s. So it puts me at 5/6 here. 6/6 is here. It makes perfect sense so far. Yesterday we learned a half circle is what in radians? A half circle is just pi in radians, right? And 6 over 6 is just 1. So we are at pi. And yes, you go to improper fractions from there after 6, 6 is 7, 6. I'm going to pause there and see if you can fill out some ahead of me. Hopefully, if you worked ahead of me, you skip 225 because it's not a divisor of 30. It's not a multiple of 30, I'm sorry. Going to 8, 6 pi, 9, 6 pi, 10, 6 pi, 11, 6 pi. Remember, I skipped the 315. And finally, 12, 6 pi. 12 does reduce to 2 pi. Yesterday, we learned that a whole circle is 2 pi. Now, note, there's 4 of them that's still blank, right? Well, those 4 are just based on the other statement. 45 is blank of 180. 45 is how much? 1/4. So the 45s that I skipped, they're 1/4. But isn't 90 a 45 also? After 1/4 would be 2/4, right? And ain't that the same as 2/4? 3, 6, and 2/4 are both 1/2. That's the very first one I believe we did yesterday, was converted 1/2 pi and got 90. So again, that's 2/4 right there, which means this one is 3/4. And this one is 4/4. We already got 6, 6. 4/4 and 6, 6 are the same thing. After 4/4 is 5/4. 6/4 is at the very bottom. I don't got to write it. It's already filled in. 7/4 is 315. And finally, 8/4 is 2 pi. Things to catch on with radians is, one, they always have pi on them. So don't forget your little pi symbols. Sometimes kids will forget those. Though I don't nitpick too much when I grade these. If you got a few little things left off, again, it's more of a pre-cal thing that I'm getting you ready for. So if you're at 90% on this, I'm very happy. Don't forget, I will start reducing Monday. So like Monday, it'll just be pi right here instead of 6 over 6. And 8 over 6 will be 4 over 3 pi, etc. Not worried about that on the first day. So a lot of the straight out coordinates are real easy with the radius being 1. This first spot will be 1, 0. Because it's just right 1. And if I go up 1, that's just 0, 1, right? So I got the top, 0, 1. If I go left 1, what's that? Negative 1, 0. And if I go down 1, that would be what? 0, negative 1. So those aren't too bad to fill in. But good news, you will get all the rest of the x's and y's if you just get these next 3 that I'm going to show you. This is the one thing that's probably memorization, if anything, and I'll highlight these 3 for you. If you just remember these 3 x spots, you're going to get all the rest of them. So most important time to pay attention. Well, they're fractions, which makes them a little difficult to remember, which is why I like focusing on just these 3. The numerators are 1, 2, and 3, but they're all square root numerators. You're not allowed to have a square root in the denominators. So one way that I remember them is, okay, again, they're all denominator 2. They're all square root on top, 1, 2, 3. But you won't, if you Google this, you won't see a square root on the 1, because as you saw in the worm, the square root of 1 is just 1. But that very first day, I'll write the square root just for the consistency. And the last time I did it, with it being December 13th right now, the last time I would have did this before today would have been in June, maybe the end of May or early June, with last semester before summer break. I didn't bother reviewing it. I will say I had the 1, 2, and 3 backwards. I had them flipped. I did 3, 2, 1. But that little correction is big. Like, I think the last 5 semesters I was perfect. But this morning, got a little cocky, didn't review it, and had them backwards. Which the reason I had them backwards is the exact reason why I tell y'all it's easy to get the rest of them if you get these, because the y's are just the same coordinates flipped. So the y's are going to be root 3 over 2, The root 1 over 2 is at the bottom, and in the middle is the root 2 over 2. So you get them yellow ones I highlighted, you're in good shape. Sorry if that's not showing up great. Check out the video or Google to see what they are. Just for discussion, if I label these A, B, and C, which one do y'all think is going to go right here? A, B, or C? Same coordinates is going to come over here. Which one do you think is going to be in the middle right here, A, B, or C? Definitely B is going to be right here. But in quadrant 2, everything in this quadrant is what sign? Negative for the X and positive for the Y. So it's all the same stuff. Root 2 over 2 is going to be here. Root 2 over 2 is going to be here. Same stuff crossed over. Let's make sure you got that. Which one is going to be on top, A, B, or C? I want A is going to be on top. Same coordinates, just crossing over. So, like I've said a couple times already, if you learn those first 3, they just copy over everywhere else. Of course, root 3 over 2, that's definitely not showing up well. Let me go back to a bigger marker. Root 3 over 2, root 1 over 2. So almost done. Y'all know them same coordinates is going to go down to the bottom. Do you know which one is going to go right here? So again, this was A, B, and C. Which one do y'all think is going to go in the top spot down here, A, B, or C? Anybody else want to take a shot? Next time, Jemai, that is going to be C going right here. A lot of times some kids will think it's A, but no, they're just sliding down. C is sliding straight down to that spot. But in quadrant 3, everything is what sign? Thank you. Everything is negative, negative over here. So whether you go ahead and put the negatives, I like to encourage kids to just double check at the end. Make sure you got all your signs right. Root 3 over 2, because again, this is C right here. Root 1 over 2. A lot of times on future days when I do this for y'all, I don't even continue filling it in at this point because I know that all I got to do is teach the pattern. And then finally, hopefully somebody other than Maya, because I know Maya's got over there. Which one's going to go right here, A, B, or C? You got it, Raymond. A will go here because that was A. In quadrant 4, everything is what sign? Positive, negative, right? So all your Y's are going to be that. So I know I didn't fill in them last 3, but this is how easy the questions are. I'll give you a couple simple questions. At 30 degrees, what is the X value? Here's 30 again. What's the X value? Think the X value would be that root 3 over 2. At 90 degrees, what's the Y value? Go to 90, and what's the Y value? 1. But remember, if you get asked to do sine of, let's do sine of 270. Sine meant the X or put the Y? Sine was use the Y value. So if you get asked to do sine 270, remember 270 is down here. The Y value is -1. That's how easy the questions are that you'll get. And on the test, I will put a picture of it on the test. But for a quiz grade, you will fill it in. So finally, what is your rating? At the very bottom, ask you to give yourself a rating from 0 to 100 right now. Very first day, you might rate yourself 40 from 0 to 100. But ideally, on the back, you got another shot at it, whether you do it today or over the weekend sometime, maybe. After another shot, you're up to like 58. And then maybe Monday you're at like 72. And then after 3 or 4 times doing it, you can finally get to 90. Because even myself again, I missed it. That's why I said I was a 97 this morning. I'm back to 100 now.